Welcome to my Contemporary Literacy Policy and Praxis video. I will be exploring the emerging definition of literacy in contemporary Australian society and considering what this means to me as a teacher in the 21st century. In this video, I'll consider some of the definitions of literacy in the 21st century. I will secondly share a personal literacy event from my professional experience, and finally I'll consider this through the lens of the 3D model, Bill Green, and Basil Bernstein's theory. James G. considers literacy from an ideological viewpoint. The nature of literacy in contemporary society requires learners to engage in critical reflection of multimodal texts that are presented in a range of contexts for different purposes. G. considers the power relations that pervade literacy in all contexts. When I was a child, my dad used to read to me, and I've always had an appreciation for language, reading and writing. He'd read things like Aboriginal myths, short stories by Rudyard Kipling, other fictional tales by great authors like Jenny Baker, Roald Dahl, Paul Jennings and many others. What is literacy? Well, my evolving conceptualisation of a literate person in the 21st century is someone who can successfully use multi-literacies to engage a range of discourse communities for a variety of purposes. It was suggested in the 1970s that literacy was more of an autonomous skill set based on cognitive processing, but more recent study and research into this field via the New Literacy Studies program has found that literacy is more of a socio-cultural practice. This ethnographic view of literacy, as explored by Brian Street and others as part of the New Literacy Studies, is empowering as an adult in the field of education. The evolving definition of literacy has led to changing policy in the field of literacy education in Australia. The findings of many of the New Literacy Studies has led to a broadening concept of the definition of literacy. So Larson and Marsh have found that literacy is a communicative tool that is a means to achieving social and cultural ends, for example. One of the key literacy events that stood out to me was implementing the Australian National Curriculum in Middle Years English and Humanities in the field of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander histories and intercultural understanding. I found this challenging as I'm a non-Indigenous person teaching Indigenous history. Part of this unit was to learn about Aboriginal country, spirituality and the kinship system through reading dreaming stories and looking at Indigenous paintings. Students learned about the cultural belief systems and tried to link these stories to their own experiences of folklore. They then created their own story using this understanding. In addition, Basil Bernstein's concept of regulative discourse and instructional discourse applies. He points out that a teacher must understand the range of discourses that form the ways of knowing in another culture, and without this understanding, pedagogical practice becomes dominated by social order rather than specialised content knowledge. The Smarter Learning Communities project has exposed significant problems with teacher knowledge and intercultural sensitivity, as well as some of the issues of Indigenous knowledge not being open knowledge. The role of the teacher in a mainstream classroom is a complex one when it comes to teaching this topic. The study found that there is a tendency for non-Indigenous teachers to focus on stereotypes, internet media, books and journals. And Partington 2003 suggests there is a general consensus among teachers, found by Craven, to learn more about how to teach Aboriginal culture.
Created using Powtoon.